Emma Johnson Diggs, and I am the oldest daughter of Frank and Effie Johnson. Just going to tell part of my life as I can remember.
I am Evelyn Push Johnson Stacky. I am the daughter of J.C. Johnson and Emma D. Johnson. I am the granddaughter of Howard Johnson. I am the granddaughter of Evelyn Johnson. My grandmother, which I am named after, my grandmother, Evelyn Johnson.
I'm Johnny Johnson Jr. and I'm the oldest of the 9 children of Mary and Johnny Johnson. I'm 75 years old, and I got a pretty good memory of how we lived when we was living on the farm.
At a young age, about 7, I guess, or 6, or maybe, I remember my granddaddy Bill Johnson and Emma Johnson, and I also remember my grandmother's mother, and that would be my great-grandmother. I remember Grandpapa, he lived to be 100 and some years old, and he was strong and tall. And I remember we used to be walking together, and I would always ask him, Grandpapa, you gonna make 100? And he would tell me, oh yeah, I'm gonna make 100. And he really did make 100, and maybe 2 or 3, I don't know, 5 years old. And he had big feet, you know, and he wore number 12, I believe it was, or maybe a bigger. And he wore real good shoes, cause the cheap shoes would be hurting his foot, you know, and he wore real good leather shoes.
Yeah, I remember my granddad. I was about first memories that I got of him, man. I guess I was probably about 8 or 9 years old. He lived up here on Channel Street, up there where them whites used to live. Yeah. That was his house. And and he used to have a garden. He used to raise a garden behind his house. And he used to get me and my brother Gabby and Jim, and we used to go up there and chop. You know, chop the garden for him. Yeah, but we couldn't. We could not work that old man. That old man was he was close to my age then. He was out of 80 then, I guess.
I can't hardly remember Emma, which my mother was named Emma Johnson too. But my grandpa, Papa, we called him Papa. I could remember him. Because Papa was about 90 or 100 years old, and he still was riding the bicycle up the 9th Aisle.
Well, you know, he lived in town, and we lived right out there behind the brickyard. Oh, so y'all. Yeah, we lived out there out there. You know, when you go, you know where that brickyard used to be at? Where the brickyard at? We lived right on down that gravel road before you get to that first big grudge there. Well, all of us lived in there. Your parents, my parents lived there. And my folks and my dad's sister, Honey, Georgia. People know her as Georgia. Yeah. And then her husband name was Judge. But anyway, we lived right out there. And Grandpa, he used to, when he was like I say, he was about 70 or 80, and he used to walk from town out there to see his grandchildren.
Aunt Effie, Uncle Frank, all of them, Uncle Andrew, them, all of them. We was real close.
You know, we was sharecropping. And what sharecropping mean, I know the young folk don't know what that means. Sharecropping mean that you pick out you 40 acres of land, and then you and your wife and your children, y'all work the land. Y'all plant the cotton and chop it and gather it and all of that. And when the end of the year comes, you and the man that owned the land split up the money or whatever the property is, and that we call sharecropping. There wasn't much money in that. But we lived because we could raise cows and chickens, and they gave us enough land to plant a good garden,
Lived it pretty good because, you know, the Lord blessed folks to, and the white man would give us pieces of land, maybe so much of an acre to put truck patch and gardens and stuff. We had greens, corn, and peanuts, and sweet potatoes, and iced potatoes, and we ate good.
You have everything you plant in a row.
Okay.
And you might have 3 rows of peas, 2 rows of corn, 1 row of peanuts, 2 rows of potatoes. Yeah, our truck patches probably was like 2 of these housing lots.
Well, we lived in, and you know how that country house out in the
Shotgun.
shotgun, and maybe a 4-room.
Did y'all have a stove?
No, well, they had wooden stoves at the time, and
You cooked on the wooden
we
stove?
cooked on the wooden stove. When we didn't have the stove, we cooked on the fireplace.
They was call them potbelly stove. You know, there was a thing called the potbelly heater. That was the big round tall heater, but they had a stove that was the long, and it was the same thing. But they could bake cornbread and everything in the stove.
All they do is add wood to it.
Add wood to it, and see, they had a separate department for the wood, and then on top they had like a oven.
Well, we ate the garden food what we raised.
Y'all had garden?
Yeah,
Okay.
we ate garden food. We raised chickens. We ate chickens, and then we didn't have to buy eggs. We didn't have to buy pork neck bones because we raised hogs to kill them in the years.
So y'all actually went and got the egg from under the chicken?
Under the chicken.
You did that when you were a child?
Yes, and we have a hen house with the chicken lay eggs, with the chicken go there and roof in, lay eggs. They had nests. They had 3 or 4 nests built there, and the chicken get on the roof, you know, crawl up step up the little roof and go there and lay the eggs. And we have sometimes a dozen eggs a day, and chicken eggs. And then we raised gooses, geeses, and guineas. I hardly ever see a guinea now. We raised guineas, and we raised a different thing like that, cows. And I remember I used to be to milk the cow. I used to milk the cow, June and I. And I remember we had to let milk the first milk out of the bags, and then let the calf pull the cream down. And the calf get under the thing, and and butt up and hit the titty, and that makes the cream come down. But yeah, I used to love to milk the cow. I used to love to chewing milk. We had the churn and
But you push your thing down
yes,
and make it come up, churn it.
Get that butter, chewing that butter. And
y'all made your own butter?
We made their own butter, big creams of butter. And butter now costs what's $4 for
solid stick.
But we had butter, we lived it pretty good.
And if you want to know the truth, we live better then than we live now. So it didn't take no whole lot of money. But it was because of what people knew how to do,
Yeah.
They could, now you take potatoes or vegetables or something, and you got to have a supermarket to keep that stuff.
Right.
But back then, you didn't need no supermarket.
They knew how to keep it.
They know how to put them green beans in a jar. They know how to put them sweet potatoes in the ground. They didn't even know how to put them watermelons in the ground. They could dig a hole and put hay and stuff in it and put that stuff in the ground, and it lasts for months and months.
Wow.
Yeah, they did. We did all that. And we used to the meat. We didn't have fresh meat like that. You couldn't keep that meat like that, but we used to salt it down.
So you salted it down.
Salt it down like this strip meat you get in like strip bacon. We used to do that ourselves, salt it down, and that meat to keep a whole year.
So
And then they used to put the hams in a smokehouse, and they had a house that we built a fire, and we put the fire out and just let it smoke. And what that smoke would do would draw all the moisture out of the meat, and it would keep.
Wow. Now you say y'all did sharecropping, so how much money did y'all get at the end when y'all picked the cotton? Y'all planted the cotton and picked the cotton.
Yeah.
And then
take it. We picked it and loaded it out. And he took it to the gin, and he got the money. You already know he got most of it. But the money that we got, we could make it with it because of, like I said, because of the self-help.
Self-help.
Yeah, you know, you raise your cow, your hog, your chicken,
Right.
you know, and sometimes we sell a little pork, we sell a hog or a cow, or, you know, if you had 2 or 3 cows, and every time you get a bull, you know, that was extra money because you could sell him too.
Okay.
But you sell him or eat him, you know.
Yeah.
But you kept all the cows, you know, to keep the.
What about milking the cow? Y'all milk cows too? You got butter and cream from a cow?
Oh yeah, I did plenty of that.
You did it. You milk cows?
Yeah, milk, chewing milk. Ooh, I sit up there and go to sleep.
Churning the milk.
Chewing the milk.
They get butter.
They get butter, yeah.
How old were you when you first started working?
9 years old.
9 years old.
I started working in the field. I was 9 years old.
You picking cotton,
Chopping first, then picking.
chopping, and then
Yeah,
picking.
Yeah. Well, now I take that back, cause now I remember I used to go to the field with Mom and them. I was too young to chop, cause you know you got that wholesome work. But I remember I used to go and pick and put it on the ground in front of my mom.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so I probably started picking first.
So you pick it, she'll
Yeah,
come
I
back and
was
pick it
5 or
up.
6 years old, yeah.
But after my daddy saw that I could chop cotton, he cut the whole handle off and gave it to me told me to keep up with Mama until he go to the store and get him some tobacco or whatever, or snuff or whatever he used it. So I kept up with Mama and them. So he said, "Girl, you keep up with your mama. I'm gonna cut this whole handle off of you, and you're gonna work. You're gonna work."
So
And
he stopped you from going to school then?
so he stopped me from seeing after babies. I hadn't, yeah,
Uh-huh.
seeing after the babies, and he had me working. So that's how I started work. I started working when I was 9 years old.
9 years old.
We was in a one-room school, and I was thinking about that the other day. This teacher was named Miss Adele. Emma know her real good, and cause she was higher grade than I was, and we went to school. This was a big church. That's what it was, a church. And that was around about maybe 5 or 6 miles from my house.
Y'all walked?
We had to walk.
Wow.
Cause yeah, and we lived it on a bayou. And when it rained, the bayou get full of water, and when it dry up, the man would plant oats and stuff out there, you know. But yeah, we had to walk wherever we went. We had to walk.
So y'all walked to school and walked
to school.
How long did y'all?
Why we went to school.
Y'all didn't
I
go
didn't
the whole
start
year.
to school till I was 9 years old.
Oh, you didn't
I
start
was
till
9 years old. But Sonny went to school a little bit. My uncle Buddy and Aunt May Lee, they used to raise those fighting cows. Fighting cows would really fight a child. Now they wouldn't fight grown folk, but they would fight a child. And I remember Sonny and I were coming from school that day, and it had rain, and the ditch was full of water, and you know, and they had the cow tied on the ditch. And it had rained that day, and we had to, I tell you, we had to wade through the water to get to our house, cause it was a low spot, you know. And when that cow saw us, she raised up, and she had long old horn, and we thought we could slip by the cow, but the closer we got to her, she put that bow in her neck. That meant to fight. And we had to stand there and call Mama now. And we called Mama Frank and Effie. We had to call Frank and Effie. We stood there a long time calling Frank and Effie. Frank, come and get this cow. So he heard us, and he came down there and got the cow, and that's how we got across. And also we raised fighting roosters. We raised fighting roosters, and we would come from school, and these was the Red Rock roosters. And they was pretty Red Rock roosters, and we were coming from school. And when that rooster saw us, he would fight children. When he saw us, he kind of danced us on, you know, side by side. And we knew he was gonna spur us with them long old spurs. And there was a brush laying there, and I told Sonny, I said, Sonny, if you get that brush, I would knock him out. And Sonny Sizen got that brush, and when that rooster came up to us to spur, to jump on us, I knocked him out with that limb I had, and he had fell off of there, and we ran and jumped up on the porch. I tell you, we had some time back in that time.
So I'm gonna bring something else as a nit to the family. A nit to the family was that when my grandmother and Emma had a sister, or and Papa, they was down in Louisiana. She had this sister. She had 4 kids, 3 or 4 kids. And the family, it was so knit. When they moved to the Delta, she did not leave her sister down there by herself with her children. She brought her sister and her kids, which was Appleberry. She brought them here to Sunflower, here in the Delta. I don't know where they went. You know, different places they walked in. They end up in Sunflower. So you couldn't tell my daddy from Earl Appleberry because they looked so much alike. They was a real knit. The blood ran deep, and they were so close. So you just show you how sisters walk. Grandma Emma didn't leave her sister down there. She brought her sister here with her and her 4 children, which she was a widow woman. Her sister died. Her sister husband died when they was very, very young. So that's how they got here. So I'm saying to the young generation, we need to get back unto that knit. You know, we don't have to run house to house every time you see it. But you know what? Just show each other love. Like me, Jim, John Lee, Jeannie, all of us, Junior, all of us. And after them, as we come down, we can sit back and laugh about stuff that we did. Betty Ruth now, you know, our family was so knit. Our uncle, Andrew, Frank, he would always, which was your dad, he would always say, hey, little Jesse, my Uncle Frank and them, they always greeted me with love, you know. And that's something that we need to do, is show this love with this Johnson bond that was given to me and to us when we was young, you know. And that's what we got to do. We got to keep this bond going. You know, a lot of time we be scarred about, generation curse. So what we got to do, you break them chains. What it say? Break every chain. Only way you have to break them chains to keep that generation going. If you got some link in there, you got to break it out, put it together, and keep it going. So sometimes we have a lot of cursing back in the day. We said the worst thing you could do is sit with your children, your young children, and talk about the family of different stuff. And those old curses just keep on. But you want to get your children together and you talk about the good times, the good things, you know, that happen. And so you instill in them what they instilled in me. So that what made me what I am. I mean, sometimes it be years I go to my family house. But you know what? But anytime we need each other, anytime they need me, anytime I need them, it's a Johnson gonna be here.
People had a lot of children then.
Yeah, they did.
Because when they had a lot of children then, it was easy for you to find somewhere to go. Because an old white guy that had land, you know, oh man, they can do a lot of work. I'm gonna let him move down here. I'm gonna build him a house. Cause now he got 8 children and 6 of them boys. Yeah. So that's right there. That's a lot of hard work.
Now I heard about them saying you could go to the store and take up stuff and sell at the end of the year. Did y'all ever do that?
Yeah, that was the same. I mean, all that was in the same thing. Well, it was in the same agreement. See, when you went to work for the guy, and then you agreed to sharecrop, then he would most time he would make a way for you to get credit to go and get the stuff that you need. Okay. But most time we didn't need to buy nothing but sugar and maybe coffee or stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like that, because we had just about everything. Yeah?
Could y'all leave when y'all got ready and come back when y'all get ready?
Well, it was some cases where the people owed a lot of money and they couldn't. They had to slip off.
Oh, in the middle of the night. But did they come looking for them? Did they go look for them?
I don't think they know. I don't think they took it that serious to go to hunt for him, put no bounty out on him. And that.
Yeah.
I don't think they got that serious though. But some of them did get in the man's debt, so and some of them did it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They pocket their little money. And the man, I had to do this and I had to do that and I need some more money and borrow money. And then when the man come out there the next day, his house open, all of those open was out.
Cause it's gone.
They packed up. They did like the Beverly Hills building. Packed up.
We came up the hard way. We came up the hard way. And that's the reason today I thank the Lord from, where I came from. And I said, Lord, don't let me ever forget where you brought me from, because he brought me from a long ways to having nothing to have something.
My granddaddy, they say that his daddy was still a slave.
Yeah, I heard that. I got that too.
So that his daddy was a slave, and he came from out of that area around Faraday, Louisiana, and his probably ain't no more than 10 miles down the road. Is where they got a big slave. You know how they do when they
trade slave.
you know how they do when they rebuild these places and then let tourists come in. You let people go and tour it.
Mm-hmm.
Go and look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Tourist,
Yeah, big tourist attraction right down the road from that.
Okay. And that's where they used to auction slaves at?
Yeah, they got a place right down the road. It's on that same highway.
Mm-hmm.
Right down the road from there. And I often used to think about that. I used to think about. I said, I wonder was my granddaddy's daddy a slave down in this area.
Yeah.
But that's where he come from,
How was it growing up doing?
Where it was segregated, your parents was going, especially the boy, your parents were going to tell you how far to go. And that prejudice was worse then than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
But them white folks had under control then.
Mm-hmm.
See, now, black people ain't studying it.
Yeah.
They can do what they want to do.
Right.
See, but back then we couldn't do what we want to do unless they tried to do something to us.
Mm-hmm.
And your daddy, your uncles, would tell you if you was a boy, what you needed to do, cause
What would they tell you?
that you stay away from them white women for one thing. That was the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go around them. Don't look at them. Don't deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be around them no kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
If they speak to you, you speak to them, and turn around and get away from them. Any kind of way you put it where you could.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they approach you and you didn't agree to them,
Mm-hmm.
you was in a lot of trouble. Your whole family would.
So what about like going to places when y'all knew not to go certain places or I mean what did they if y'all tried to enter a place, did they try to stop you or what?
See, that's what I'm saying about our parents. They forbid that.
So
They forbid it. You provoke that white man. See, if you go up there and try to go in a place where it's segregated, you provoking it.
Right.
We don't better to do that.
So y'all just didn't even
We didn't even fool with them, no kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And then we sometimes we used to play baseball, and they might used to come around and stuff, but we just didn't fool with them.
So they come around and white you out, play baseball?
Yeah, stuff like that. Well, we didn't fool with them.
So,
it wasn't that we was president, but we was just being safe.
yeah.
See, it's a whole lot different between being not to be with somebody because you are prejudiced, but if your well-being depends on it, then you learn how to get around it. They didn't want us to look at their women.
Mm-hmm.
But I know of a couple of times the incident that this man that was running the farm would take the man down in the back of the place and put him to work and go back to his house. Now see, that's how they did us. Yeah.
And what if what if the black woman said, "I'm gonna tell my husband,"
He don't kill.
he didn't kill.
He don't kill.
So the husband,
The husband probably knew what was going on.
but it wasn't, he couldn't
Couldn't
because they
do
were
that.
killing.
He was helpless.
Yeah.
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 And that's why I take my hat off to my brothers.
Yeah. Right.
Because they endured.
And
You hear me?
The black woman too.
That's what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, what I said, my brothers, but I'm talking about all of them.
Yeah.
The black men and the black women. Cause we didn't do it now. Don't think that we went through something.
Right.
But look at us now.
Look at it now.
Uh-huh.
So what kind of work did you do when you were young? When you were
Well,
18? When you became a young adult? Were you a maid or what?
well, I worked at the white lady's house, ironing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
How much did she pay? How much did you get paid?
well, you know, back in that time, $5 or $6, something like that. Cause that was on the plantation.
Mm-hmm.
This was when we were living down by the brickyard out there.
So you would go to her house and iron?
Yeah, once or twice, but it didn't last long.
Tell them about your trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? How they got in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure about that.
But tell us what you heard. Cause we said we don't say it's true fact. We just say it's been told.
Well, what I heard is this: what the talk was going on in the family. That my granddad and his twin brother, a guy jumped him, a white guy jumped them, and they killed the guy. And so I don't know. Somebody gave him some advice. And look, y'all need to get out of Dodge. And they came down there to the Mississippi River, and they swam it. They swam the river, came on the Mississippi side. And then they said our name used to be Wilson, and they came on this side and changed their name to Johnson. And my granddaddy said, my mama said my granddaddy told her that the FBI was behind them for years. So he did. The FBI man finally caught him. But he said at the time he had about 12 children. He was working on the farm, and said the man got there and come out there and he picked cotton with him, but he was the FBI, you know. But he was just checking my granddad out. And he said he got to be friends with the man. And the man told him what the deal was. He said, I'm gonna go back and say I couldn't find him. I'm just gonna leave this alone. I'm gonna say I couldn't find you. And go on back. Now this is what y'all heard.
Yeah.
What's
I heard similar to that.
So that's what we need to do. We need to bring this bond together like Nathan Lee, Emma, Jean and them all up. You know, Honey was so crazy about me. She would play that guitar horn, Judge and them. And you know, and Aunt Priscilla and them, and Aunt Clara stayed in Sunflower. She always said, that's my little niece there. That's my nephew child there. One time I was at Delta Pride. Aunt Clara was working at Delta Pride. So we were just playing like girls play. Aunt Clara pulled her coat. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute, that's my niece there. What they finna do? She thought. And she said, that's all, Aunt Clara. Ain't nobody finna mess with the pool. Oh, I was finna say no. She said, okay then. All right, Aunt Clara with the sweating and going on. You know, it ain't came out. You know, the Johnson come out thick. You know, Johnson is something like Johnson grass. You'll chop it up and it right back. And where the Johnson did, whenever something happened, a parent or whatever, they would reach out. They always reach out to the family, regardless to whoever. They gonna always reach out. If you need help, they did. You know, I'm talking about the Johnson coming up in my day that I want to put to the young people now how our change was so gripped. So you know, I'm 66 years old. We're not gonna be here to stay. But he like, y'all young baby, you behind that microphone there. Y'all got to keep on. You know, one monkey ain't gonna stop no show. We got to keep on rolling. Y'all got to keep on rolling. Y'all heard that song. Keep on rolling. So y'all seeing what we doing, what y'all doing, and we getting older now. And so y'all got to keep this thing rolling. That's right. That's what a lot of times a generation die out. It don't let the generation die out. You just got to have one and keep on rolling, keep on pushing. And I just thank God for these children getting this family reunion together. Emma and Bill Johnson, 1922 family reunion. Love y'all.
2022.
2012. 2022, baby. You know, baby. You know it's happening like that. It's bees that way sometime. All right, 2022 family reunion.